Warning, there are images in this video of human bones that some viewers may find unsettling. My name is Matthew Baxter. I've been a paranormal investigator in Denver for about 35 years. Because of that, I can say that like every other city in America, Denver is the most haunted city in America. Let me explain. Back in the cool autumn of 2010, Cheeseman Park was undergoing some changes. You see, there was a crew out there that was putting in a sprinkler system near the pavilion. And I have to commend these workers because nothing could sway them from their job, not even uncovering a human body. Yeah, that's right. There was a worker out there digging a trench for a water line, and he uncovered a full human skeleton. Now, he dutifully exhumed the bones and put them in a box marked sprinkler parts, pushed it aside, and went back to work. He completely forgot about it. So the next morning, there's a guy riding his bicycle through the park. He sees this box, and he thinks, I just struck the jackpot in sprinkler parts. So he opens it up, and well, at that moment, he did what any of us would have done under similar circumstances. He excitedly pulled out his cell phone and immediately called the KBPI morning show. Well, the thing is this alerted the authorities and me to the fact that this was happening. And after a short investigation, they uncovered several more bodies. Now, what initially looked like a murder scene was actually proof that bodies buried in one of Denver's oldest cemeteries weren't being treated with the respect they deserve. Yeah, Cheeseman Park was one of Denver's oldest cemeteries. The land was given to Denver by the federal government back in the mid-1800s. And, it's had a long history of bad stuff, we'll say. This was going to be Denver's most beautiful cemetery. It was going to be the final resting place of Denver's founders, of the elite, and it didn't really work out that way. You see, before it was a cemetery, it was a cemetery. Yes, it was an actual Native American burial ground, the Arapaho. Now, one of the stipulations was they could not bury the bodies more than 6 feet below because they would be disturbing the Native Americans buried there. So they could only bury bodies about 3 feet deep in bentonite clay. Now, if you know anything about bentonite, if you have a house built on bentonite, you know how unstable it is. And it is a mess to deal with. It expands and contracts, and the bodies were moving around underground. There have been reports of bodies being found 2 blocks outside of the original boundaries. Anyway, back to our story. I immediately called the medical examiner's office. I said, I'd love to come down and examine these bodies. And they said, and you are? My name is Matthew Baxter. I'm a paranormal investigator. Click. They hung up on me. So I called back and I said, my name is Matthew Baxter. I'd love to bring in the Metro State University Human Identification Lab to examine these bodies and find out who they were using real forensics and see how these people lived. Well, they said yes. So I brought along the Human Identification Lab, just like I said, and we got to spend 2 days with these bodies, putting them back together, cleaning them off. It was fantastic. I was one of the first human beings to have contact with these bodies in over 100 years. That was just amazing. Now, the thing is, a lot of people in this business like to say that they can talk to the dead. The trick is getting the dead to talk back. You see, that day, using forensic science, they talked back. Of the 2 bodies that I worked on, one was an African-American male. I think he was in his mid-50s. He was largely vegetarian. He was a gold miner. And he died of natural causes. and lived a very interesting life, a hard life of working in the mines. He had wounds on his skeleton, on his hands and on his feet from heavy equipment, you know, sledgehammers, picks, stuff like that. And the other one was a teenage, half Asian, half white girl, and she wasn't accepted by either group. So her life was pretty rough in that sense. Absolutely amazing. Now, the thing is, this is a short video, so I can't get into everything we learned. But getting back to that bicyclist at the beginning of the story, he did have to return all those bones to the authorities. However, the skull was missing. We don't know what happened to it, but I have a feeling somebody's got a pretty awesome bong. Thank you.